Hey everyone, welcome to the flower of full moon that is coming up. We're going to do a reading with that, and it's a pretty special full moon this term around. It's called the flower full moon, of course, because it's happening in May, and usually that's when all the flowers are blooming and allergies are having fun, all the pollens. So happy nasal month. But also it's going to be a super moon, which means it's on its the moon's rotation around the Earth. It's not, perfectly a circle, and this is when it's at one of the closest times in its orbit around us. And it's actually, we had two super moons this year. One was April last month, and this will be the last one for this year. And when I was reading in the Farmer's Almanac about the full moon that's coming up, it actually says this one's 100 miles closer. So we're not really going to see a huge difference, because in the scheme of things, 100 miles with the moon and the Earth isn't going to make it appear any larger, but it does appear about 14% bigger than normal when it's a super moon. So it's definitely going to appear bigger. And then in addition to that, it's also going to be a lunar eclipse for a lot of the kind of the northern hemisphere and more of the eastern, or I think it's the western part of South America. But I'll put a link to the Farmer's Almanac that actually has a little link you can click on to put where you are at and how much of the lunar eclipse you'll actually see. So let me write that down real quick, because I know I will forget that, because I just thought that would be a great idea. So I'm going to do that. So link to Almanac. When you get older, you just don't remember things like you used to. So we'll write that down. Of course, and this full moon is going to be in Sagittarius, so that is going to be an exciting, fun, energetic, fiery kind of full moon anyway. So it's going to be fun. So we're going to do pick a card reading, so you can pick as many of them as you want. But number one is actually going to be the full moon in Sagittarius, which is all about looking at the bigger picture. Number two will be the actual supermoon, which is emotions are running high, which we'll talk about that in the supermoon reading. So big supermoon. And then lastly, it'll be the full moon eclipse, so the lunar eclipse, which conclusions are within reach. It's also called the blood moon, because it'll have like this reddish tint on it as well. So we'll go ahead and jump into reading number one. If you didn't want number one and you want to jump to one of these others, the timestamp is in the description box below. So we'll go ahead and start with El Numero Uno. Welcome to reading one, if that is what you chose, which is the full moon in Sagittarius. And by the way, all these cards are from this Moonology Oracle guidebook, and I love it because it also includes information about what that specific full moon or moon phase brings. So I love this. So if you did pick this one, what the full moon in Sagittarius brings, like it says, look at the bigger picture. So it's like, what do you need to see about your current situation that you're in, right? So if you're too involved in the maze, you might need to take a bigger picture view of things, so you can understand how everything's fitting together and everything is fitting in. So you can also look at, because Sagittarius is really about joy and fun and the uplifting side, you can also ask yourself, like, what's the most positive thought you can have about your current situation or the situation that you're concerned about. Now is the time where you can count your blessings and focus that energy on what you do have and what is working well, and not expending your energy into those things that are not working out well. It's about keeping an open mind about what's best as well. So it's not getting so stubborn into your shoulds and supposed tos and have tos and needs tos. It's about going, I know what I want, but I'm open to the universe, the creator, your angels, all those invisible support groups that are helping bring things for you. Don't limit yourself and don't limit them by boxing things in. Be open and say, I know what the end goal is, but how we get there, I'm open to hearing other alternatives as well. So we don't need to be as stubborn. And really also, with that Sagittarius tend to this full moon, take time out for a little, like a mini break or a little mini adventure. Enjoy that side of you. Let that out, because that'll also help, just kind of balance all these emotions that you're going to be feeling with the full moon. But it's also going to allow you to be calm, and in that calmness you're able to see answers that you didn't see before. So I love that about just this full moon in Sagittarius in general. But we'll jump in and see what other information Creator and Spirit would like you to know. So before we jump into that piece, I always just love to thank the Creator for being here with us. We're just so blessed to have you involved in every intricacy of our lives. And in addition to all that, it comes with this amazing unconditional love. So we don't have to worry about you being involved in our life and seeing things that we may be judging ourselves for, but you won't judge us for that. And we are so grateful, so grateful for that. We welcome you, and we thank you. We also welcome, like I talked about, all that hidden posse we have, that support group on the other side, all of our guardian angels and angels, our spirit guides, all our ancestors, our loved ones who've already gone back to the other side in this lifetime, and any other just host of unconditionally loving beings of love and light. We welcome you as well. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to pick a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. I love these to use these around a moon reading, because they just provide so much additional information for us. All right, Creator, what else would you like those that chose this full moon in Sagittarius reading? What else would you like them to know? And this will be for around the full moon that actually happens on May 26th, around 5:14 a.m. Mountain Time. So depending on where you're at in the world, it'll happen at a different time, of course, but you can figure that out, I'm sure. What else would you like us to know? So that'll be for this period of time. So usually this will be, I would even say, from the time of this reading, because if you're sensitive, like if you have a lot of water in your chart, you might even start feeling the effects of the moon like a week before the full moon, and it can impact you up to a week after. So I have a lot of water in my chart, so I've got I start dreaming really weird dreams. I used to start like 4 or 5 days before, but now it's like a week before through the week after, and then the new moon energy hits, and I have weird dreams about the new moon. So I'm always dreaming weird dreams these days. They're the norm. So this is darkness, the long night moon. And you can kind of see that here. That's number 40. So if you have numerology, the number 4 or 40 could mean something for you. I love the little bunny rabbit. Always reminds me whenever, especially in a shadowy thing like that, how when they used to put the projectors on in school and people would do rabbit, little rabbits and birds and whatever flying there, but that always cracks me up because it reminds me of that. So let's take a look here and see what message comes with this card for you. It's like it mentions darkness. You're entering a time of introversion, a leaner time, or a time to turn inward to plan and strategize. It's time to do shadow work, which will bring big dividends later on. Release what no longer works for you. And the little phrase it has is, the darkness needs to be there as much as does the light. One of the earliest human fears is said to be a fear of the dark. We fear what we can't see, and we fear what we may be hiding. In reality, the dark is as important as the light. In nature, there are many nocturnal animals that go about the business of living under the moon, not the sun. The darker times of the lunar and seasonal cycles signal a time to naturally turn inward, to stay close to home, to look closely at ourselves, and to plan for the light. In the northern hemisphere, the long night moon occurred in December around the winter solstice. This is when the nights are indeed long and the hours of sunshine short. It's hard to say. It's cold and people would begin to be snowed in. It's also during these long nights we begin to do our shadow work, undertaking the self-reflection needed to identify what isn't working for us and what might be causing us pain. This could be a bad habit, a destructive pattern, a recurring useless fear, or anything that holds us back from being the best we can be. Once we see these aspects of ourselves in the dark, we can simply decide whether they must go. We can decide to release them once and for all. We get to transform. I love that. And the companion stone or metal for this is onyx, if you're into crystals and that. But I love that. That totally fits in to what we were talking about for this, about what aren't we seeing and looking at things from the bigger picture. So, taking time alone, taking time away, getting into solitude. So, really, like I mentioned, a little adventure, getting away from things will help you see what is hidden, see what you're missing, and allow you to decide what can be let go and what needs to be learned. And I love that. Love it, love it, love it. I also want to pull a card here from the Native Spirit Oracle here and see what additional message that we would have. What else would you like us to know about the flower full moon period for those that hold the full moon in Sagittarius or chose the full moon in Sagittarius reading? What else would you like us to know? Okay. And then you got offerings. I love that. I believe that is Stonehenge. I love that picture there. There, and we'll see what message comes from this native spirit for you. So offerings, this card means that the universe is grateful for you. You are a gift to the world. Feel gratitude for everything in your life, even the things that don't seem perfect. And I love that because we were talking about the Sagittarius energy is about counting your blessings. What are you grateful for? What's the, positive thought you can have about your situation? So I love that. Again, reiteration, gratitude for everything, even if it doesn't seem perfect. And it says appreciation for everything flows through you in great bounty. Cherish the preciousness of life and everyone and everything around you, and thus you will be cherished. And your native spirit wants you to know that every native culture throughout history has made offerings, often on a daily basis. Offerings were made to the sun, the earth, the plants and animals, and to everything in creation. The offerings varied culture to culture, but they were always made with a feeling of extreme appreciation for the bounty of life. Gratitude was the secret to a joy-filled life. True thankfulness can work like modern-day alchemy in your life, yielding happiness and peace beyond imagination. And it's simple. Find what's good and wonderful in every moment. No matter what's happening around you, there's always something to be grateful for. Whatever you appreciate in life will grow, so discover what you're thankful for, even the people and situations you've found challenging, and watch miracles unfold. I also love these cards because they give you a little journey, which is like a little thing you can go on, a little journey you can go on, so it talks about, as a suggestion, make an offering to whatever nurtures your soul. If you're nurtured by a particular place in nature, for example, you might consider leaving some fruit at the base of a tree for the animals in that area to give thanks for the beauty that is there. I love that. So do a little offering ritual, no human sacrifices or life sacrifices, please. Just fruits and things of that nature. All right. And then we'll also going to pull just a few cards here from the Light Seers Tarot, just to see any additional messages here for the moon from you. There's one there. I feel like okay, I was going to say, I'm going to feel like there's going to be at least one more there. Okay, there we go. I love this. So you got Temperance here, which is about balance. So it's balancing, both the spirit side and the light, as well as the shadow side and the physical world. So just finding that balance in between, not going to extremes, not just focusing, like I said, if we focus on just the things that we feel are missing in our lives and aren't grateful for the things that we do have, then the lack is going to grow, that emptiness, especially around a full moon, because it amplifies all of our emotions. So whatever we're focused on is what is going to feel like it's huge. Especially a supermoon, it's even not like a full moon on steroids. It's going to be like your emotions at the extreme. So really coming to that place of balance, switching, kind of, it reminds me of alchemy almost too, because you can kind of see how transforming the darkness into light. It's all moving, from this up here into this light. So focusing on the brightness instead of the darkness during this time is going to be exceptionally beneficial for you. Yep. And this is so cool because this kind of fits in with this darkness card here. It's the moon, which this is all about going to the subconscious, going and finding the hidden and the unknown. And I love, you've got the dark wolf and the white wolf here, which is always, reiterating again, the dark and the light. The old Native American story about we have both wolves inside us, and the little grandson asked the grandfather, well, who wins in that battle with those two wolves inside us? And he goes, well, whichever one you feed is the one that's going to win. It's the one that grows stronger. So again, another message, just reiterating, yes, it's time to do that inner searching and to choose, choose which one you want to grow. And, there's no wrong answer. Sometimes we do want to feel sad, and we do want to feel that emptiness and just grasp that feeling. We came here to experience all the opposite emotions, so there's not a wrong emotion, but you get to choose what you want to feel during the time. So that's great news. And then you got the Five of Swords here too. What I love about this is it's you can kind of look back here and it shows this person got to the top of the mountain where he thought he was going to be victorious and fulfilled. There's even blood, sweat, and tears along the way there in the snow. And all these crows up here, because it's sword, it's all about our thoughts and all about our beliefs. So it's a challenging time because, and it fits into this too, that this crow is the thought that's screaming in your ear about that's what you wanted, and it's being brought into your face to go, but I'm not feeling fulfilled like I thought I was going to be. So it's time to question that and to get that higher view, like I talked about, get the bigger picture and understand, is it the external things that are going to make you happy, or is it the internal world that is where you find your happiness? Because you can have everything out, there's billionaires out there that commit suicide because they thought they had it all and they still felt empty. But there's people that have hardly anything and they are loving life because they have found their inner happiness by doing the inner work and seeing things. So I love that about this dark night of the soul and visiting that. All these kind of just reiterate to get in there and do that. So this moon is going to be a great one for you because it's going to bring some very special awarenesses as you go through the process. Just make sure to take the time to do that. Take time for you away from everything to see things from that higher perspective. And then lastly, we'll end the reading here with a little bit of Whispering Woods, because it's the flower moon. I thought, let's get some forest involved here. So it's the final message for those that chose the full moon in Sagittarius, please. Okay. 2 there. Yep. Adventure, live wild and free. So like we talked about at the beginning, take time for an adventure. That's really what's going to help with all of that there. That's hilarious. And then you've got kindness. I'm going to totally probably mispronounce. Take respite by a pond, and be kind to yourself and others. And I believe that's just take time to yourself, take time in contemplation by a pond, and be kind to yourself and others. So just another reiteration here about, yes, take that quiet time away so you can see and hear the messages that you need for your time there. I love it, I love it, I love it. We're just gonna end the reading here at that point. I think it's a very clear message, and I'm excited for what this super moon is going to bring you. So until next time, you hang in there and know that every second you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You take care. All right, if you chose reading number 2, then this is the reading for you, and you chose the supermoon and emotions are running high. So yeah, of course, with a regular full moon, your emotions are already very influenced and expanded and magnified. So during a super full moon, they're super expanded and all of that. So just keep that in mind as you're going through that. There's going to be a lot of emotion going on around here. This is the last supermoon of the year. There was 2. One was last month. There's one this month. And this month's is actually the closest by 100 miles, which isn't going to appear any larger to our eyes, really, from our viewpoint, than last month. But it's usually about 14% bigger than a full moon when it's not so close to the Earth. So it is going to feel big, and this brings really answers to us, and it's like done in caps and large writing. So every answer we get isn't just an answer, it's put a very in front of it. So it's like, am I going to be successful in that? You're going to be very successful. It's the very emphasis with the super moon on there. And it's during this time we can really appear larger than life because the moon feels larger. That brings that with us, and so we kind of feel special, and we're bursting with extra energy. But that also means whatever we're focusing on, whatever emotion we're going through, is going to feel very, very expanded as well. So we get to choose that as we do that. By the way, all these cards are by this Moonology Oracle deck, which is really cool. Has so much information about the phases of the moons and all that it brings as well. So just wanted to point that out there. So that's kind of the information just around the supermoon in general. And then we're going to pull some cards here too to see what extra messages the Creator and Spirit have for us. So before we start, I always just love to thank the Creator for being here with us. So grateful for your presence, and especially grateful for your unconditional love that you have for each and every one of us. We welcome you and we thank you. And we also welcome all of our angels and our guardian angels and our spirit guides, all our ancestors and loved ones who've gone to the other side already, and any other of the host of so many beings of unconditional love and light. We thank you and we welcome you. All right, so we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, because of course this is all about a moon, and I love to bring these cards in for the moon readings. And I do moon readings for each full moon and each new moon. So there's a playlist for those if you ever want to check those out. All right, Creator, what would you like those that chose the supermoon to know about the time period coming up? And this supermoon is on May 26th. It's going to be 5:14 a.m. Mountain Time. You can figure out wherever you're at what time that shows up there for you. So this will be for about a week before and a week after, or really a week before. So the time of this reading all the way up until the new moon. You can kind of look at this energy for that. You got number 13. This is will. So the will, I'll show you picture there. I always love the artistry on these cards, are so amazing. So we'll put that one right there and we'll see what message comes from number 13. All right, so will. Decisions require action. You are in control of your own decisions and life, no one else's. Passion and will determine a great proportion of your success. You will persist. You possess free will, which means you should focus on yourself first and avoid placing your will over another's. Control, yeah, let go. And then the little phrase that comes with the card is, I have the will to make the changes I need. Will feels like a very old-fashioned concept. In a modern world where it seems like everything is geared up to be as easy as possible, or there's always someone else to blame, the idea of placing our personal will persistently into something almost seems quaint. When we decide we're going to change something in our lives, let's say a particularly negative pattern or bad habit, breaking the old way we do things can be difficult. The change requires a concentration of our will. We may want the change, but it is our will that insists we stay on the path to that change. To be willful means we have the power of control over our own actions, and that will fires up the persistence we need to get what we want. Contrary to popular belief in witchcraft traditions, practitioners don't interfere with another's free will. This means we do not cast spells upon people to influence their behavior. How do we get what we want instead? We cast on ourselves in line with our will, focusing carefully on what we would like in our lives instead. So for example, instead of casting a spell to get back our ex-boyfriend who doesn't want us by influencing his will to love us again, instead of doing that, we more ethically cast upon ourselves to find our ideal partner. This way we don't interfere with his free will, and if the ex is our ideal partner, he will return to us freely. If not, we've attracted someone new and better for us. Either way, win-win. I love that. So to use our will productively, we should assess what we really want and make sure this is what we want to reach for. And then the companion stone or metal that comes with this is hematite. So if you're into crystals and stones, that is the accompanying stone of that. So I love that. It's all about the power of choice and the will. And I love that example. I know, witchcraft doesn't set well with everyone. So instead of looking at that, just look at it as your power of choice and your free will, given by the Creator. Whatever we focus on grows. Same thing with the supermoon. Whatever we focus on is what grows. So, use our will and our free choice to focus on what we consciously and purposely want to expand during this full moon period. And then next we're going to pull a card here from the Nature Spirit Oracle, just to get an idea here of any additional energies or information that the Creator would like us to know. All right, Creator, what else would you like us to know that shows the supermoon? To know about our upcoming couple of weeks here. Well, what information do you want us to know? I feel like this one here. It was calling our name. And we got the spirit of water. And I love that because, the full moon does influence the tides, right? And I went right up to the page. Cool. Again, we are mainly made up of water. The earth is mainly made up of mostly water. And the moon, as it goes around, is what creates the tides. So the phases of the moon do impact us. We used to track full moons in call centers that I worked with because we'd know when we'd work the night time that on full moon days, people just acted very differently, like some people, this was crazy situations, their emotions were expanded, so little things that we would think are small normally outside of a full moon felt so big, and they were so angry, and we're like, wow, it must be a full moon? Yep, it sure was. So just know that we are influenced by the emotions, and also what emotion we focus on also impacts water. I was just reminded of, and I forget his name, but he's a scientist who did a lot of experiments on water. When they crystallized the water, so they would take a bottle of water or a glass of water and speak love, 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 love to it, and crystallize it. It turned this beautiful, beautiful crystals. They would take another glass of water, from the same water source, and speak hateful things to it, and angry things, and when they would crystallize it turned out dark and ugly, and not definitely a stark difference between the two. So the words that we use impact us, our bodies, because it's mainly water. So just a couple messages there are on water that the Spirit wanted me to bring. And then the Spirit of Water talks about trust your intuition, know that you're on the right path. Take time to nurture yourself. Allow your inner child free rein. Believe in your dreams. Don't stifle your emotions. Trust the messages they're giving you. Purify and cleanse yourself and your home. Healing is on its way. Emotional healing energy is expanding within you. Then your native spirit wants you to know the Spirit of Water invites an emotional richness into your life. Communicate from your heart. Embrace your childlike wonder. This card also represents purification, cleansing, and healing. It reminds you to clean your personal space and your body. It also urges you to accept and embrace your emotions, all of them, even the ones that you don't usually like. Additionally, trust your hunches. Push off from the shore of safety and enter the flow of life. All is well. I love that. It's like Spirit's telling us to take a bath, take a shower, cleanse your inner emotions. And I love just how that fits totally into, whatever we focus on is what is going to change here. So if we focus on unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter, that is what expands in our life. That's what makes those fear feelings become smaller and smaller and smaller. We become braver and push away from the shore and take steps to doing the things that we love and enjoy as well. I love these cards too because they have a journey around the essence of the card. So the journey for this card, it says, be aware of water in your life. Humidity, mists, clouds, rain, water in food, like fruits, vegetables, and so forth, the ocean, the rivers, the bath, and the shower. Drink extra water. Energize it by placing your hand over each glass and sending love into the water. Evaluate relationships. Notice how each encounter affects your subtle emotions. Take some daily time to relax, especially near or in water. Cleanse and purify yourself and your living space using water. Imagine how it would feel to be a still pool, a mountain stream, a mist, the great sea, or a summer shower. Notice any emotions or feelings that emerge as you do this. And then also watch your dreams. Yeah, definitely. Supermoon, you're probably already super dreaming already. So I can definitely understand that for sure. All right, and we're going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers Tarot. We'll just see what additional messages might be here for you. All right, what would you like those that chose the supermoon to know? Okay, I feel like that one, and that one. Okay, we will go with that. Thank you, Spirit. I've got Ace of Wands, and what I love about the wands is it's about spirit. It's about your connection to your higher self, connection to the Creator and the higher realms. And of course, this is fire, and we're all talking about water and the emotions here. So it's a good balance between the fire and the water. You might have had, I loved how this talked about being brave and pushing away from the shore and following life and its ideas, because this is also a spark for new things coming. So if you've been having ideas and you've been having like plans that you're making to do things, now is the time to focus this energy into that, because you're just going to see it just expand and expand. So you can use the supermoon right now to get a lot done, to have a lot of extra energy to take those steps. It doesn't mean you have to take all the steps, but it means that you can take more steps than you normally would have during this next week to 3 week period of time. And we got Ace of Swords. So yeah, like I was talking about, new ideas. So yep, definitely. Again, reiterating what I just said. And here we go, the Eight of Cups too. What I love about this, because the Eight of Cups are all about the emotions, and look, all the, walking through the water, walking to shore onto new things. And this is like a little ritual almost, this little bowl here. It's like putting in there the things that no longer serve you and walk away. You don't need to hold on to those things anymore. It's like with all this extra energy, it's going to give you the extra zap on your bohiny to go, you know what, I'm done, I'm moving on, I'm taking those steps. And look at that, just walking along this beautiful shore towards this sun here, new things coming for you. So beautiful, beautiful. I love just how this is the message that you're getting with this. And then lastly, to end this one, we're going to do a little card here or two from the Whispering Woods, because it's the flower moon. We can bring them. So for those that chose the super full moon, what would you like them to know? What's your final message for those that chose the super full moon? Looks like there's a couple cards there that were put back in there. All right. Okay. There's one. Any others? Okay. So you get 3. What a gift. What a gift. So you've got Journey. Yep. Branch out to new worlds. So I love that. That's totally branching out to new worlds, right? That's Journey. And then you got Music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest part of the woods if only we listen. And I love this because I almost feel like, there's something echoing from deep within you here that it's like that saying, and I know I'm not getting it 100% accurate, but it's like you don't want to leave this world without having sung the song that's in your heart. And I really feel like, in your deepest subconscious here, there really is, that song that is singing, that, not to be afraid to do that, because what do you want to do? Why are you waiting to live your dreams? You waiting to die? Now is the time. Why not now? and then resilient. Stay as strong as evergreen trees. So just know you have the strength, you have the ability. Don't question yourself. Trust yourself. Trust, like it talked about, trust your inner knowing. And just take those steps, because this is a perfect time. You have so much energy available to you for this new path. Do it. Do it. Do it. So that's the message for you for this wonderful time coming up here. And just know, as you go through this next 1 to 3 weeks, every second you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. We'll talk to you soon. You take care. Right, if you chose reading number 3, then this is the reading for you, and this was for the full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach, which I also mentioned in the intro, if you didn't hear it, about it being the blood moon, because there's going to be like a red hue around it. I also mentioned in the introduction that depending on where you're at in the northern hemisphere and even some of the southern hemisphere, you'll experience some part of the lunar eclipse. I'm going to put the link down below in the description box, and if I figure it out, I might just put it up here too somewhere. But you can actually click into the Farmer's Almanac, and there's like this link you can put where you're at, and it'll let you know how much of the lunar eclipse you actually will see. So going to be a spectacular time there. The information I get around, I usually look at the Farmer's Almanac, but I also get information from these cards here, which are the Moonology Oracle Card Guidebook. Very helpful information if you ever want a deck that is just helps you learn about the moons and stuff too, and about the influences of the different astrological signs with it. I highly recommend it. Beautiful, beautiful book. But of course, the lunar eclipse is when the Earth is in between the sun and the moon. That's why the Earth's shadow kind of has that hue over the moon, and that's what gives it the lunar eclipse, because our shadow covers up the moon momentarily until we move out of the way and allow the sun to shine on the moon. You probably, if you're going to look for that too, Tuesday night is probably when you want to do it late, because the actual full moon itself happens May 26th on Wednesday at 5:14 a.m. Mountain Time, but it's probably going to be below the horizon, so you may not see it there if you wait till the Wednesday morning. So you might just kind of start looking at it if you want to stay up late on Tuesday night. But like it talks about here, big conclusions are within reach. Situations are in your life will be reaching a peak, or they have just done so, and now it's like time to go. Okay, things have come to the conclusion. Now it's out of my hands. There's nothing else I can do. I've done everything I can do. Now I'm going to let go, and it's about what can I let go of? What can I let go of control of? So whatever you're going through now is what your soul signed up for. So it's a message of going, you know what? It's a time to reflect. And I love how like a lunar eclipse is like, here's the full moon, and then it becomes dark, and then it becomes light again. So it allows you to contrast and see what it is I wanted, what it is I thought I wanted, and maybe what is it that my soul really wanted, and then you can kind of see that. So when you look at all these things that are coming to a conclusion here, you get to choose what the outcome means for you. You're going to have a lot of thoughts about what it's supposed to mean, but you don't have to believe that. You were taught that before, but you can question that now and go, this outcome, I can also believe that it's perfect for me. Life happens for me, not to me. So if something's happening, you can ask yourself, why would I have wanted this for myself? And trust that it is unfolding perfectly for you. And we're going to pull some cards here. That's kind of the basic information just around a full eclipse, what that brings for you. But I also want to get some messages from the Creator and Spirit. So before we jump in with that, I always just love to thank the Creator for being here with us. We're so grateful and so blessed to have you in every second of our lives, and especially for the unconditional love that you have for us. so that you're involved in every second and you're not judging one moment of it. You're just loving us unconditionally, like a grandfather taking a little child to the park to play. There's no judgment and expectations. You just want to see us enjoy and feel your love. And we're so grateful and so thankful for you, and we welcome you. Also want to invite and thank all of our little cheerleading team on the other side, our support team, all of our guardian angels and spirit guides, all of our ancestors, our loved ones who've already gone to the other side in this lifetime, and any of those other host of magical, beautiful beings of unconditional love and light. We thank you and we welcome you to be here with us. All right, so let's see what additional information we have here. We're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Let's see what additional message the Creator has for the lunar eclipse people. I know it's a lot of energy with the lunar eclipse, a supermoon, full moon. It's going to be a very emotional time, and it can be positive emotions or challenging fear emotions, whatever we want to choose, right? Right, Creator, what would you like those that chose the lunar eclipse? The full moon eclipse. What else would you like them to know for the next coming time? And I did mention that this is, this flower full moon is May 26th at 5:14 a.m. Mountain Time. So this will be from the time of this reading up to that. I usually put this out a week before. So from this time all the way up to the full moon, and then a couple weeks until the new moon. So anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, these messages will apply for you. Or they're timeless too. If you come across this anytime outside of that, there's of course always messages hidden everywhere for us in this amazing adventure that we're on. Okay. I feel like that one is the one that wants to be heard. Yep. So we got fears, and those are the inner fears. And you see, what I love is this. I'm going to pull from the Light Seers Tarot here in a minute, but the swords, which is about the minds and the thoughts, are crows, and so this is so fitting. They have all these thoughts and these fears that are flying around, that have all these strings attached that we're holding on tight to, which makes us on the inside just fear on the outside world and everything that happens out there. So what I love about these conclusions is, during this time with this eclipse, when I was talking about seeing the light and the dark and the light and the dark, we get to, face our fears of those outcomes, those conclusions. What do I believe that means about me? That's what drives our fear, and what drives us wanting to control everything is because we want to control the outcomes, because that outcome in our mind means something. We've been taught that when, this person isn't faithful to me, it means I'm worthless. I get fired from that job, it means I'm worthless. I don't get, the highest grades in school, it means I'm worthless. We have all these messages that are attached to our worth, but we can question all of those thoughts, and we can let go, like it mentioned, with these conclusions happening. We can be like, I can let go of things, let go of these strings, let those thoughts and beliefs go, because they're no longer serving you. And you can question those and see, is it really what I believe? And let's read here too. That's number 11, which is great. That's a master number. So it says, the time for courage is here. Fear is only useful if it teaches you something. You must examine whether your fears are old or new, useful or unhelpful, because fear blocks flow. And the little phrase for this is, I am courageous. If there's one thing that stops people from fulfilling their dreams or even getting things done that they want done, it is fear. Experiencing fear is built in, a chemical part of the way our brain works to protect us. Emotions, such as fear, cause the production of a whole raft of body chemicals that gives us the best chance of coping with situations that need our attention to survive. There is a healthy kind of fear, the kind that warns us to keep out of a dangerous situation or stay clear of someone who instinctively makes us wary. However, it would be a rare person who does not have at least one fear that does not serve them, a fear that is unrealistic or untrue, or perhaps based on an outmoded experience or something that's buried so deeply we only see the symptoms rather than the fear itself. Most fears have been formed with the positive intent of protection. We need to separate that intention out and deal with it in a more resourceful and less destructive way if we are to create ease and flow in our lives. Fear has many names. Covert ones are envy, jealousy, codependence, procrastination, bullying, people-pleasing, disconnection. More overt ones are avoidance, fear of failure, or fear of success. There is, however, a kind of antidote to fear, and it is courage. Fear will put up an initial resistance to courage, but it has no long-term power against it. While we can be fearful and courageous at the same time, and I think courage contains a mighty big dose of fear, we can choose to face that fear and flow through it until we fear less and then eventually become fearless. The process isn't always graceful. Isn't that the truth? It isn't always impressive because it may be slow and deliberate steps we take. Taking these steps isn't always easy, and that's an understatement. It isn't always apparent to others, so it should be about us measuring how far we have come and not worrying about what anyone else thinks. Comparison is useless. Courage is powerful no matter what form it takes. And the companion stone that is related to this is aquamarine, which I don't think this is aquamarine, but it's kind of similar to that. Beautiful. So perfect. And I love how that totally fits into this message about conclusions and what we can let go of. I'm just really looking into that, those beliefs about our fears there. And then we're also going to pull a card here from the Native Spirit Oracle and see what additional message we have. Right, what else would you like those that chose the lunar eclipse, full moon eclipse to know for the next week to 3 weeks? What else would you like us to know? Okay. Look at the Spirit Keeper of the North. Okay, and let's see what message comes with that. There we go. So Spirit Keeper of the North, it says, take time for contemplation, turn within, connect with your ancestors, incubate ideas, mend relationships, watch your dreams, meditate. The answers are inside you, waiting to be heard. Stay warm. Create dreams for your future. Repair whatever is broken in your home and your life. Forgive those people and situations that you've been dragging around for a while. And then your native spirit wants you to know that in the medicine wheel, the north is the direction that symbolizes the darkest time of night, the coldest part of winter, the dark of the moon. That's so great. So that's the lunar eclipse has the darkness come across the moon. It also represents the elder time of life and even a time of endings or conclusions, right? Pulling the Spirit Keeper of the North indicates that it's time to take measure of your life. Explore what's working and what's not working. What and whom do you need to release? It's also time to make repairs in your physical environment, as well as make repairs to your body. Additionally, this is the time to begin to dream and make plans regarding your future. Your ancestors are close at this time. Call on them. They want to help you. If you live in the southern hemisphere and draw this card, then we would want to read the Spirit Keeper of the South instead, for the meanings are reversed. So if you're looking at this for the southern hemisphere, I really feel like for this reading that this would still be for you, because we're not using that card for a specific personal one-on-one reading. Since we're doing this for a collective, go ahead and use that as your card. That's what I'm being told. So I love these cards too because they come with a journey, like something that you can do in action. And it says, stand outdoors at night facing north. Inhale the darkness. Sink into your own depth. In the stillness, ancient wisdom emerges. And I love that. It's like sink into yourself and find that deep, amazing, ancient wisdom that emerges through that. I love that. It was all talking about endings as well, and what to let go of. All right. And then next, we're going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers Tarot. All right, what else would you like those that chose the lunar eclipse to know for their 1 to 3 week period, please? Okay, they're like boom, boom, boom. So great. So this is the Devil card, which for me, when I read this is all about, a lot of readers will apply a meaning to this. So this is your addictions. These are the things that are being harmful to you. The way I read this card, though, is that this is what is brought in front of our face that no longer serves us. What are we ready to let go of? It has these all these strings. It almost reminds me of that card there with all the strings, but it's all the strings that are caging you, and what are you ready to let go of? And that's what this is like the shadow that comes to let you know what is no longer serving you, what is being like that block, what is keeping you that restricted, caged feeling, and what are you ready to let go of? So that's so perfect with that. Yep, we got the Queen of Cups. And I love that she sits in the water. So she's halfway, she's experiencing her emotions. She's not trying to get away from her emotions. She's sitting in there, but she's also closing her eyes. Cups is really a lot about the emotions and about connecting. Sometimes you'll see like the High Priestess card for this deck will show her, the Moon card will show her swimming beneath the waters and getting into the subconscious. So this is about understanding, getting into the unknown, questioning, your emotions and what's going on. But also, you'll see that she has a crown for her mind here too. So it's balancing the mind and the heart, getting to the root of our thoughts. What is at the root of our emotions? And that's what all this was about here too. So it's time, and there's kind of like this, wheel behind her. It's like a sun wheel, and that's just saying that it's time to look at it. There's a lot of beautiful energy that's coming with this moon for this 1 to 3 week period that will help you with it. So we can get involved. Like when we go to look at our fears, we don't want to focus. Like if you're going to go back to a situation in prayer or meditation, try to go in as a powerful supernatural third party being that's going back to look at it. Don't take on the old emotions. Look at it more like you're watching scenery from a train rather than being out in it. You want to be able just to see it and not reignite all those fears and all those things. It's a non-judgmental, third party, kind of like you're an invisible person in the room, seeing what happened from a different perspective. Yep. Yeah. So reflection. Justice is about balancing, seeing things. She's holding a sword here, which is all about thoughts and beliefs. And so it's about looking in the reflection and seeing things from a different perspective, right? So you get to see things from a different perspective. She looking down into the water and seeing things that way, seeing into there. So I love that because it's all about looking at the reflection and seeing things the way that you thought they were. But when you go back, not in a moment of fear, if you can get into a place of peace and reflect back into your past and look at those fears, then you don't feel out of control and you see things clearly instead of in a fear-based, reactionary, fight or flight kind of mode. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the Whispering Woods because this is the flower moon. So we're going to bring in a little bit of the forest for your final message here. For those that chose the lunar eclipse, what else would you like them to know, please? What's your final message? Those that chose the full moon lunar eclipse, please. Okay, those two. All right, so those are the two for you. So we've got the woods. Be like the woods, calm, soothing, mysterious, and full of life. So yeah, calm down. Look at your fears from that place of peace and joy there. And surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. And I love that. So that's, we have old fears that we have not questioned, and there's beautiful surprises underneath that stone when you move it. You're not going to be, there's not going to be a scorpion or a snake. It's going to be a beautiful little garden when you remove that stone of fear. When you remove that, not only do you become lighter, but it's saying there's beautiful surprises waiting there for you. I really love this for you. Exciting time coming up here, and just know as you go through the next 1 to 3 weeks that every second you are indeed unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. Till next time, you take care.